We are back. New York Mets Baseball, past, present, and future. I'm Ralph Tyko. My co-host is Marty Rose. Marty.
Hey, Ralph. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, couldn't be better. It's a good week.
Good.
Technology notwithstanding, I've had 2 or 3 little run-ins with Comcast and all that stuff. But little things. I learned it doesn't even bother me anymore. You have to look at the overall picture, and then you go crazy. You analyze it for a minute, you put it into perspective, and then you smack the wall with the phone. That's a good procedure to take. So we finished the Mets season, Mert, and all things considered, when we look back, this is going to be pretty special, given the injuries. We talked about that last week. What they went through. And now we're faced with 2 things. We're faced with the Mets having a team in the instructional league, and we're going to talk about their progress of their best prospects through this really super league that they have that's naturally post-baseball season and goes through Christmas and gets the finest prospects in all of baseball. All teams send prospects to the Arizona Fall League. And there's a lot of good history. Managers and players have come out of this league. And the Mets have several players there. We're going to talk about them over the course of the long winter. We're also going to relive some memories of Mets teams in the past. We're going to have guests on, authors and former players and coaches and what have you, and we're going to make it interesting to follow the progress of what the Mets are going to do over the course of the winter. Excuse me. That's a lot of talk in there for an old guy in a small town. So, today we're going to start with what you think, Mert, are the decisions, what we both think are the hard and fast decisions that they have to make. Second base, what to do about Cespedes, decision on Bruce, Granderson getting a little older, this, that, and the other thing. So I want to start with what you think they're faced with and how you think they're going to handle it. Marty Rose, Jacksonville.
Okay. Well, I think I think it's going to come down to money once again, unfortunately, based on the fact that they have 12 guys that are arbitration eligible. And of those 12 guys, there's some big names in there. At least 6 or 7 of them they have to keep. I mean, I don't. You want to go over some of them? I mean, you got Familia, who was making 4.1.
He lost.
Yeah, was making $4.1 million before, and I mean, from what I'm seeing, that could double. I don't know. You know, the way these arbitration things go, the guy always asks for much more than he's worth, and then they try to settle on something a little bit less. So
right, compromise, go in between.
You know, but I mean, he could get like $8 million. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's all right. So after Familia, also Reed, both your 8th and 9th inning guys. Reed was making 5.2 last year. So, I mean, you got to figure he make at least 10. They need both of those guys.
None of these guys end up going to arbitration. It comes down to fitting them into a budget. Now, can Wilpon see the advantage of paying guys that led you to 2 playoff positions in a row through an incredible amount of adversity and injuries and this, that, and the other thing. Nevertheless, they made the playoffs, won the East one year and made the playoffs the next, and it wasn't the last wild card position. It was the home field wild card position. Say what you want about the cheapness of that. It is what it is in the sport that we're watching and following today. So it does mean something. And how about all the bucks that brought in by a team that, for all practical purposes, took the city of New York back from the Yankees? There's advertising dollars. There's, I don't know what's going on. You probably know better than I do. You do.
Well, they had full ballparks up to the end of the year. Everybody was coming out.
And selling shit, shirts, jerseys, alternative jerseys, 12 different caps, 12, literally, used to be home and away. That was the thing. And the colorful jerseys, it's like going to the World's Fair again, you know, just everything is this, that, and the other thing to keep up. But you're buying the shit for $40 for a T-shirt that says Mets on it because it's an official thing. It's craziness. So they're bringing in all this money. Do the Wilpons, and I gave them a pass last year because they came upon Cespedes fortuitously. Let's put it that way. And Alderson is a real genius. I will talk about him. But,
yes, I mean, you would think Wilpon
unless he's expanding the budget and saying, pay the key guys, keep it going. We have something.
Yeah, I'll give you one big example. The Grom. Now, let's say he's healthy and he's ready to go. He was only making $600,000 last year, and he's arbitration eligible. And from what I read, he could get $4.5 million. So that's just one guy. You know, that's almost a $4 million increase just on one guy.
But that's poor planning, because have he been extended like a lot of other teams do and avoid this 12 guys in arbitration? You pick out the guys you'd want. DeGrom is certainly one of the key guys that I'd want.
You don't offer them, you know, the big money until now. Now's the time, because, you know, he's arbitration eligible. That means in another couple of years he's a free agent. So now, if he's going to be making 4.5 in arbitration, what are you going to offer him?
You could offer him an extension.
Yeah, you can.
Could have offered 2 or 3 of these guys an extension before it came to this point, where he gave me, I don't know. I think it's either you're going to extend the budget or you got some real problems. And I don't think the fans can stand for breaking this thing up. You got all these pitchers coming back. And
Harvey is also on that list, but he was making 4.3 before, and he's coming off surgery. So, you know, from what I saw, he could make maybe $1 million more than that, maybe 5.2
maybe 6
instead of 4.3.
You give him a break because he's Harvey, so to speak. He's had a lot of run-ins with the press. I wonder about, is he one of those guys that is destined to stay in New York long, or is he destined to be a Yankee?
He is from, I think he's from Connecticut. So he's a local guy, basically, you know. So, and he likes, you know, he's one of these guys that likes to be seen, likes to be out in Manhattan, goes to the Ranger games. He's one of those. He likes it right where he is. So as long as somebody doesn't blow him away with an offer when he's eligible for free agency, I think he would like to stay here, knowing his personality.
Okay, but could that someone be the Yankees and he still gets his way?
Well, that could be too, but I don't know what the Yankees are up to these days. They're going to field a team of almost all kids, except for 2 or 3 positions, and starting pitching is a weakness there. That's on the Yankee side. That's for sure.
And in talking to Alan Blumkin, our resident expert on the Yankees, certainly, and a lot of other things, he thinks their big sin was getting rid of Miller, who has become...
Right, he had 2 years left.
Right. What was... After telling him not to worry, you're going to stay here no matter what, when it 2 or 3 weeks before... They just ceremoniously.
Well, maybe they just didn't think that anybody was going to give them what they were asking for.
Okay, with that in mind, do you think they got enough prospects, that these young guys that they're going to be bringing up,
Time will
build
tell.
around Sanchez and stuff? Do you think it's enough?
Time will tell. You can't say now. These guys have done nothing yet.
Yes.
So you can't answer that question until like a couple of years from now. See if they do anything. They got numbers, and they got a bunch of guys who are highly rated prospects. So obviously they don't think themselves as being contenders next year, or maybe even the year after. I mean, I don't see them going out and spending big money on free agents like they did in the past. I think they're trying to, grow it from within now. Something a little different. So.
Well, they certainly replenished their minor league system, and they took some money off the payroll too. So
big money, yeah.
Big money. So, A-Rod notwithstanding, to Sarah, I think they'll probably end up moving Ellsbury, given everything.
He makes mega bucks, man. That's a bad contract. I don't know how they're ever going to get rid of him. He's making over $20 million a year.
Sabathia too.
He's got 1 more year left, Sabathia. And he didn't have a bad year this year either. He's pretty good.
Something ERA, though, 4.022. I was looking at that.
It's not bad for him. Better than he's been. Plus, he had a little procedure on his knee right after the season ended. So, he could be pretty good next year, too.
Yeah.
And they got a kid.
Ellsbury in his prime. How far away from his prime is he, and can he put together another couple of good years worthwhile for the Yankees to keep?
Not $20 million years.
No, that's
definitely
true.
not. No. No way.
No. Under any under any circumstances.
No.
Yeah.
They do have a good pitching prospect.
You make 2 or 3 bad mistakes, and it could haunt the franchise. Any franchise. I'm just talking in general. Fans go, well, it's not our money, blah, blah, blah. But there's only so much of it to go around. That's why I hope the Wilpons loosen up those purse strings, for crying out loud.
Well,
you already have a nice cash flow. There's only 40 more years to the Bobby Bonilla contract. They've made mistakes in the past. I know this. Bobby Bonilla is going to buy out Trump someday from what they give him. Actually, you know what? That was a good deal for both teams. It freed up some money for the Mets at the time, and it's always a crapshoot. From that standpoint, it didn't quite work out to fruition. And for Bonilla's sake, oh my God, he's got money coming in, a tax-free thing. How many millionaires go out of business by spending it all, getting it built from him? This guy's got lifetime security.
Absolutely.
And he deserves it. You know, anybody who could put together something that you live pretty good on only what you get every year. If what you get is more than everybody else on the block is getting, it may not be Trump-like money, you know what I'm saying? But Bobby Bo is doing quite well.
Oh, yeah. But in any case, you want to get back to...
Yes, I do ramble, don't I?
Well, the outfield situation is like you mentioned Bruce before.
Right. I want to know.
Team option for $13 million. So
I'd give it to him.
Okay.
Given the fact that he proved at the end that, in other words, you don't give everybody $13 million, but you don't have to. That's a team. These guys who are eligible for arbitration, most of it will be settled because, as Blumkin again says, it leaves a bad taste in both the player's mind, more importantly than in management. With management, it's just business. They treat players like they're robots anyway. And these are kids who are full of
so
themselves.
Much depends on Cespedes, though. So much depends on whether they, he opts out or not. That whole situation. Even if he opts out, how much is it going to cost them to sign him if he opts out? I mean,
but either
how much
way,
more can you give a guy than $25 million?
Don't you need Bruce desperately either way?
Bruce? I don't know. Because Grandy's back for one more year.
That's true, but
the right-handed hitter.
You got to keep him out of leadoff. You got to keep him down in the order. Reyes
They're both left-handed hitters, and I don't know. Because
well, you're thinking you're gonna do better in center field. You think Lagares is the long-term solution in center field?
Well, he signed through 2019. They gave him a contract a couple of years ago. So, but I don't know if he's a regular. I mean, obviously against lefties, and he's obviously the best defensive outfielder they have, no question.
By far.
Yeah, by far.
By far. The question of Conforto and Nemo.
Well,
what do you think?
I mean, you can't keep both of them. What's the point? They're both basically the same guy.
Right, very similar.
Although I think Conforto might be the better hitter of the two. Actually, I think Conforto is the better all-around player of the two.
He's got a very good arm. I don't know about Nemo's arm, but Conforto has a terrific arm. Yeah,
he does. And they're both, that's two more left-handed hitters. So, to me, I would trade Nemo, seriously.
Okay.
He makes no money. Somebody will take him. If they could get something back for him, I would maybe trade him. They got so many left-handed outfielders. I mean, like you say, Lagares, he's good, but he's not going to play all the time. I mean, if you got Bruce and Grandy, they both got to be out there. Grandy can still play center field. He showed it. He proved it.
Yes, he did. But if Lagares can come back to form of a couple of years ago, I don't know if he got a Gold Glove or he was a Gold Glove candidate. But
I think he did get one. Yeah.
Okay, if he comes back to form and they don't sign Cespedes, Grandy could be in left, Bruce in right, and Lagares in center.
That's true.
Then you have Conforto coming off the bench. Flores, what's his status?
Flores is arbitration eligible. He was making $520 last year, and the estimate is like 1.9. He's going to be healthy, so
that's fair if he's healthy. Absolutely.
And he's a valuable guy. He is. Cause
I think they'd be better off with T.J. Rivera at second base if he continues to continue.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go for Walker. I think they're going to let him. Well, he's a free agent. I don't think they're going to bid on Walker.
But he's going to come cheaply because he's coming off an injury.
I don't know how cheaply you're talking. But T.J. Rivera is
he likes
the minimum.
Cheap could be a hometown discount. He likes it here a lot. They like him.
Yeah, I know. But the payroll is going to increase by so much because of all these arbitration eligible guys that
sure they may have.
I just got a feeling that they're going to let him go. If you want to sign a free agent, go get Lucroy. He's a free agent.
Oh, I was just thinking.
Give him the money.
You got to get some catching, and
give him the money.
He is a free agent. Lucroy is.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish they had him down the stretch too. I like Rivera, but let's face it, Rivera would be his backup and would be a good backup.
He's arbitration eligible too. Rene Rivera. He could get
right?
He could get $2 million. He was making $440 something last year. So.
Wow.
Darno is also arbitration eligible. I wouldn't give Darno anything.
No, I would not. Did the Mets announce a budget? Have they talked about that in the press?
Not yet. No. I don't think we're going to hear anything until after the World Series, when they start getting serious.
Okay. There's the Duda and the Loney.
Okay, Loney is a free agent, and Duda is arbitration eligible. Made 4.2 last year, estimating 6 something this year. I guess if Duda's healthy, you got to go with Duda.
Duda would be getting just 6.
He made 4.2 last year, and he missed almost the whole year. So how much could you possibly give him?
Okay, well, no, I'm just saying that doesn't eat up much of the budget. That would be good. Because he's got an upside, Duda does. He's got some power. He's already got 30 home runs. And that could be sorely missed. That could be sorely appreciated, rather, especially, again, if Cespedes doesn't hang.
Yeah, it's a big question.
Conforto is a doubles hitter. I'm looking at him as that. Good, solid outfielder. Move Granderson to left if it comes to it. You could end up losing Bruce and Cespedes. So, but
like you say, if they lose Cespedes, I'm sure they'll cough up the $13 million for Bruce. It is a team option, not a player option. So.
Okay.
It's up to them.
Well, that is nice. That does make it nice.
Yeah.
And I guess the big question is, especially with Reyes being such a godsend and such a great move by Alderson, got him on the cheap.
Right, and he's making the minimum because Colorado's paying all his money. So.
Right. And how long will that last?
I think just through 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's he gave them a hell of a boost, and if you get another year out of him, that would be terrific. Do you think, is the talk about Wright? I mean, we have a sentimental thing with him. I don't think he was ever one of your real faves. You mentioned that you didn't think he was as clutch always as he could have been, but do you think he?
I just remember those years when they collapsed.
Yeah, they were. Those years are hard to even think about.
Yeah, well, Wright and Reyes were right there on front and center those years. So.
Yes.
But in any case, he, who knows how healthy he's going to be. I mean, even if his neck is 100% after the surgery, he still has that back problem, which is not going away.
Right. That's chronic.
So it's got nothing to do with money because he's got a contract for several more years. I just don't know what to expect out of him. I don't.
Yeah. If he does come back, would it move Reyes to the bench, or could they work together?
It probably moves Reyes to second.
Yeah, but again, two or three different options there. I always liked the idea of having Flores come off the bench. I think he's a good utility guy.
Well, Reyes is worth it. Reyes is worth it. Just having him lead off. When they got him and he started out there in the leadoff position, that really changed the whole dynamic. Really did.
Absolutely.
Helped a lot.
They came alive, and that was nice. That totally unexpected. There were times during the season we both said we got to start watching the Jets. That's how bad. And when it gets that bad, ladies and gentlemen, we know when it gets that bad. Another team we're both out of city for when they came to their fruition in 1968, 1969. Haven't been many Jet great teams since then. Let's face it.
No. I think that the worst it got was when they had that lead in Denver at halftime.
Well, they missed a field. There was one time a kid missed a field goal. I was in Radio Shack. They had the TVs up, and I screamed, "Fuck!" right in Radio Shack in front of everybody, let alone on the radio itself, on internet radio. And I was asked to, "Sir, I'm leaving." Didn't matter. I walked out. South Shore, Alameda.
That was when I guess when
kids have a memory. They're going to counseling right now. The man in helmet misses field goal. Jew screams out profanity, and everybody was shocked.
Yeah, they had didn't they have a 10-0 lead in Denver at the half, and they lost? Would have gone to the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure.
Might have been. Sometimes we all have selective memories. Memories get clogged up with teams. But this year's memories of the Mets will be good ones. I think Alderson has it in him to finagle a goodly sum increase in budget from Wilpon. I think he has the ability. He's shown it. They've had 2 years of playoff action. They has to see the budget somewhere along the line has to have increased in, like all the things we talked about. tickets, butts in seats, radio advertising, TV advertising, all that stuff, plus product, I think they're doing all right, and I think that will show. I
hope you're right.
Bucks from him. If not, wow, then I take back my hall pass. The Comfortable Zone Network did my hall pass last year.
Oh boy. But, the pitchers are a lot of arbitration on the pitching staff, too. DeGrom, Harvey, and Wheeler all get arbitration. But, even if they don't, the one good thing about the pitching is that if they don't all make it back from the injuries, we saw that we might have a couple of guys that came through at the end of the year that could step right in. This Gazelman guy and Lugo are shocking. Who knew about these guys? Nobody. So it's something to fall back on if you need to. There, Ralph.